Greetings and salutations, YouTube land. Welcome back to another episode of Jay Fixes Stuff. So today's going to be kind of a quick one. We're going to be revisiting the Echo PB-770T that we brought back to life in episode 2. And I heard my favorite words from my Echo dealer. Your parts are in. So as you can see, we have Echo parts. So let's throw these new plastics on, some nice new straps. And then a little later on, I'd like to bring it out into the real world and do a little testing on it. And it wouldn't hurt actually to put it up head to head with its grandfather, the PB-750. So stick around, let's have a little bit of fun, and that's it. Let's get going. So before we get started, a little update on the quality front. I've made a little bit of an investment on making the quality a little bit better. So as you can see, we have that, and that should help out a lot. So we are now going to have 3 different angles shooting all in 4K, ultra high def. So the quality should get quite a bit better. You shouldn't be looking at the back of my neck and my back for the whole episode each time. Also, I've added several microphones and a total of 4 tripods. So really, there's no good excuse at this point for me not to have good production quality for you so that you can enjoy these. So just figured I'd give you a little update. Now, on to the parts. Ooh, that would have been bad. Always cut away from yourself, boys and girls. All right, let's see if everything came in. Oh yeah. All right, this should be the main shroud here. Oh yeah, new hotness. All right, let's set that over there. Watch it fall on the ground. Let's see. All right, so that is going to be our airbox cover. And of course, they didn't include little screws for us, so I guess we'll steal it off the old one. I love how these straps, the shoulder straps on both the PB-580 and the PB-770 are both like these thick padded ones to make it nice and comfortable. And last but not least, I'm assuming these are the stickers I ordered. The decals to go on the new plastics. Appear to be. Let's see. I think that's the Echo sticker for the recoil housing, for the recoil cap. And this should be the main decal. Cool. All right, you may remember the star of episode 2, the Echo PB-770T. It is a really powerful blower, and I believe it's most likely going to be my new personal blower, replacing the 750. So let me just show you the straps we're going to be replacing. We'll just go over to this other camera angle over here. This one isn't in terrible shape, but it's a little faded. This one, I don't know what is going on. It's like all taped up, so not great. All right, so let's get this housing off. And you have to take off the other side first. And we're going to steal these when we put the other one back on. Okay. All right, so just a side note here. In the original video, you probably noticed that when I told you to make sure you put all the bolts back where you originally found them, that there are two different types of bolts that are used in this setup. The original person who I had bought this from, or the last technician who worked on it, had them in the wrong place. So I just want to quickly review where they're supposed to be. So you have the two types of bolts. The first is like this, where it's kind of a raised shoulder. And then the other kind you have is just a traditional lower profile rounded bolt. And the rounded ones go everywhere, except you have the raised shoulder bolts for holding on the recoil. And then for those three locations right there around it. So I did, when I was reassembling it, I did put them back in the correct location where they should have been, but I never went over that. So I just want to touch on that real quickly. So let's get the rest of this shroud off. And when you take the shroud off, you're going to want to leave those two bolts right there that hold on this side base plate for the housing of the air filter. That doesn't need to come off for this type of thing, only if you're working on the carburetor. All right, I believe we're free now. Yep. Okay. And now we'll just zip the new one on. What do you think the chances are we're actually going to be able to get this sticker off easily? I'm thinking it's going to fight me. All right. So it left behind a bit of residue. So I'm just going to see if I can clean that up. A little bit of goof off. Okay. That feels good. I think I'm a little bit crooked, but close enough. Okay, so I usually just like to get one bolt started in each corner just to pull back the pull cord just to get it aligned with the pawls. And then once it's where you want it, hold it up against it, add the additional ones like so. And like so. Test it. Yep. Wow, some good compression. All right, now let's get the new airbox cover on. Spin around a little bit. There's our pre-filter. Remember that pre-filter does not go inside the frame. It goes just like that inside this piece here. Then the frame is going to go on the air filter like so. That goes there, and then this whole thing goes up against it to hold it in place. So let me get these started. I do have some of these in stock, but I just stole these off of the other one so that I don't waste the other new ones. All right. And I ordered a sticker for this. Let me see if it came in. And we're back. And it did come in the regular mail. So all that for that tiny little sticker, the choke sticker for the side. All right. Like so. Let's see if I can actually align these though. Should go right here. Wow, it's actually somewhat lined up. Huh. All right. Let's get this back on. Ooh, that looks nice. Okay. Wow, that looks really nice. Looks brand new. Okay, now for the most cosmetically important decal, because everyone's going to notice if you don't put it on straight. New hotness. All right, and this is supposed to go right below the spark plug flap here. That's pretty close. I think it's cocked slightly to the left, but looks really nice. Very cool. All right. Time to do the straps. That's just sexy right there. All right, and the 9-lock nut is started. Torque it down. Okay, we should be in business. That looks nice. Feels good too. All right, let me swing this thing around. That looks nice. All right. I say we go find somewhere with some wet, heavy leaves to go try this thing out on. Okay, so it was unexpectedly difficult. Granted, it is late November, but it was unexpectedly difficult to find some leaves that could be used to do some blowing. So I want to test these out. First, in case you missed episode 2, let's just quickly go over the difference between these two. The one on the left is the PB-750, which is the granddaddy of the sexy PB-770 on the right here. So they both have 63.3 cc engines. However, because of the way they're designed, they put out drastically different performance. So the one on the left actually only puts out 551 CFM, whereas the 770 puts out 756 CFM because of the way that they designed it. So that results in a difference at the tip of 208 miles per hour on the 750 on the left versus 234 miles per hour at the tip on the one on the right. They are very similar aside from that. The weight of the 750 is 24.9 pounds, basically 25 pounds, whereas the 770 is only 21.6 pounds. They both have roughly a 2-liter gas tank. All right, so let's fire these things up. We'll put them to work. We'll see which one works out better, and you can be the judge. All right, let's start off with the 750 over here. Neither one of these have run, actually, since we did the episode 2 video. And we have all kinds of cars driving by, so I apologize in advance for that. So, all right, this one has a power switch. We'll flip that on. Choke is on. We'll hit the purge bulb a few times. And let's see how many pulls it takes to start this thing up. Wow. That's impressive. All right, let's try the 770, see how many times that needs to be pulled. All right, let's try the 770 and see how many pulls it takes to start this one up. So choke is on. Power is on. Purge bulb. And let's give it a pull. First pull, son of a gun. It's in the 40s right now, too. Let's give it a shot. Not bad. Those are some really wet, heavy leaves. It poured all night into this morning. So let's try the 770 and see how that does. All right. Oh, that is comfortable. Very nice. Those straps feel good. Oops. What can I say? That was a heck of a test. And we even cleaned up the neighborhood a little bit for the kids walking to school. So I was really impressed. That was some really thick, wet leaves. It poured all night long. In places, it was over 6 inches deep. So they both did really well. The 750, for being an old grandfather, he did really well. But I think the clear winner is the PB-770. It powered right through those leaves. It moved them way up into the air. So yeah, I think it was a really good test. But I think the 770 is the clear winner. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me today, stopping by, and I'll see you next time.